Hey guys, Dr. Kristie Ennis. Today we are going to go over how to wake up your glutes, or your buns as they are more commonly known. Now, these glutes are super duper important to get activated because they help support our spine a lot. And unfortunately, a lot of us are sitting a lot, whether it's in the car, at the computer, or just being home. And so that actually shuts down those glute muscles, especially as those hip flexor muscles get tight. So we need to learn how to engage them back again so they work when we are moving around and functioning, and so that they can even help us when we do our workouts. You can do a squat. In fact, you could do 1,000 squats and not actually activate your glutes. So if we get those glutes turned on first, it'll even make your workouts more effective. So the first one I'm going to show you is more of a movement, and it is really silly looking, so you may want to do this in the comfort of your own home. I, of course, don't care because it's what I do for a job, but you might. So let me show you and you'll see what I mean. You're literally going to take your fists and smack your butt. Lots of people may be wanting to do that, but you're going to do this one on your own. And again, like I said, silly looking, but what it's actually doing is waking up the nervous system. Nerves control our muscles, which obviously then are going to allow those muscles to contract a little bit better. So if you do this for about 20 or 30 seconds and then whoop, go to squeeze those glutes, you'll notice that you have a better squeeze out of those glute muscles. Easy peasy. Doesn't get much easier than that, as long as you can cause yourself a little bit of discomfort. Not a lot. Don't hit yourself too hard here, okay? From here, I'm going to go right down onto the ground into what's called a frog bridge. Now, the most common way to do this one is with the soles of the feet together and the knees dropped open. Press those hands in. Always engage in those abs too. We don't want to lose those. Squeeze those glutes, and then you're going to lift up like so. 10 to 15 reps for all of these if you can, except that first butt hitting one. Now, sometimes that's uncomfortable on people's hips and knees. So I have found that if you do heels together, toes open, again, keep those knees open, sometimes that's a little bit more comfortable. Either one is awesome. You're getting that rotation in through the legs, which means that you're getting more of the glute muscle there. If you need a little extra, you can even add a little leg pull apart there. Throw on a band above the knees to get yourself even a little bit more challenge if you want a really good workout, like so. Okay, from there, we're going to go onto the side, and the position to set up for this exercise is just as important as the exercise. So lying down, you can support your head. You want to make sure you leave a little bit of space underneath your torso. Pretend there's a yummy cupcake, and you don't want to smush it. I love cupcakes. You can choose whatever food is your favorite. When you look down at your legs, you should see your toes and a little bit of your feet. A lot of times I see people with their legs way too far forward, and that means they're going to use their hip flexors, not as much of those glute muscles. So that's your starting position. We're going to start with just the classic, and you can either, put your hand on your hip gently or rest gently. Those fingertips don't smush again into the ground. Turn that leg, turn those toes down just a touch, and then lift. That helps, so again, you're not using those hip flexor muscles as much, and you can really concentrate on using, these glutes. All right, so 10 to 15 here. After you do that, then you can go ahead and bring that foot back to kind of that neutral position, but leave that leg up, about parallel. And then you're going to take that leg and go forward and back. Woo, I'm a little wobbly now. So what you want to make sure of is that you don't have a huge motion, because if I were to get a really big motion, I really am falling. This is what it would look like. And that's not good, because now we're not stabilizing. If you're moving the rest of your body, you're not stabilizing anymore. All right, so just keep that in mind. From here, legs are going to come together. Do not move your hips, only the knees with this one. So you're going to bend the knees, but keep your hips from moving forward. A lot of times I see people do this. Don't do that. Don't let that be you. You're going to do a clamshell. So same idea as position, and you don't want to roll backwards. We're going to keep those feet glued together and lift that top knee up, okay? If that's too easy, or you just don't feel like you're getting a lot there, you can go ahead and add in a band again above the knees, or another variation I like is to lift the lower leg off the ground. So my knee's still on the ground, but the calf is off, feet together, and then open up that top knee. It's going to be a little bit harder to do, okay? From there, make sure you do both sides. Don't forget that. We're going to go into a quadruped, or hands and knees position. Shoulders stacked over those wrists. Do a little bit of rounding and arching in the spine to find your happy middle position. and that's where you want to stay. From here, I'm actually going to keep this leg, this left one is the one that's going to be working. Actually, both legs are going to be working because the other one has to stabilize. But I'm going to keep this left leg bent. I'm going to start by coming up into a little bit of extension, out to the side, and back, around, and down. And yes, you do want to go nice and slow because we want those abdominals to kick in as well as those glutes. And like I said, you want to make sure you're stabilizing and not tilting. Now we're not doing anything anymore. Now the leg that's on the ground is also going to be working. Those glutes are going to be kicking in to keep those hips nice and level. Make sure you go both directions. Now we're getting into coordination here. And again, both sides. Okay? Do not arch the back either as you go to lift that leg. From here, one more to go. We're going to stand back up. This is another one you can do with a band if you need a little bit more oomph to it. But again, it works really well just to get those butt muscles kicked in. The leg that you are standing on will have a little bit of a bend. I'm going to turn the leg that's going to be moving out at about a 45-degree angle, so almost my heels could be touching there. Without leaning forward, I'm just going to bring this leg back. So again, I'm externally rotating or bringing that leg out. So now I'm engaging a little bit more or a few more of those glute muscles instead of just one. Right? So nice and easy. A little balance here too. If you're really struggling with balance, you obviously can hang on to something. So there you have it. These are great to do every day for sure. Definitely good to do before a workout too to wake everything up. So thank you and stay tuned for more.